Oh, what's going on, folks? It's been a great evening, and we're about to wrap it up. You know, I've done just about everything I can do out here tonight. The people are right, and I'm going down here and probably try to get a bite to eat, and then we're going to head up to the room for the night. Today is the last official day that I'll be here at the beach, and I'll be heading out sometime tomorrow afternoon. And so I've had a really good trip. It's been really good. And I don't really have too much to say about my bad experiences on this trip. And I don't know if that's just due to the fact that people are getting better in the world at large, which if that is the case, then that is fucking awesome. If that is the case, because it's always good when we see people do better. And that's what I'm really all about. I know I talk a lot of shit to you guys a lot, but honestly, I want to see you do well in life in general. So, what I want to say now is, and I don't want to talk a whole lot about bad stuff, but what I saw yesterday was behavioral, and that's what we always talk about. We always discuss behavior. And so I had to, speak on this. But, they have some awesome street life performances out here that I see from time to time. And they're pretty good, And these people are very skilled and adept at performing and doing shows, and they do them every night, and they probably make a pretty good living off of it. I'm sure that there's some insurance issues and so forth where, people don't, they're not provided health insurance, and they have to go out of pocket for these things. And so that's why it's very important to support these guys on the street when they're doing their acts and, their trades. And a lot of them, from what I understand, have done really professional things. You may think that they're one step away from a panhandler, but that's not really the case, because these are skilled people. And a lot of them have been on national TV shows. A lot of them have been in Vegas, and these people are really skilled. They could have joined the circus and made a lot of money being a novelty act or something, and maybe they wanted to be with their families, or for whatever reason, they chose the life of being a street performer and performing out here. But they're fearless. These guys are fucking fearless. And that's what it takes to move a crowd and get a crowd to be engaged and not be afraid. Because fear is what keeps us from getting ahead. And so I got to give kudos to these guys. Now, this guy in particular, I caught the tail end of a show. And the show was pretty freaking awesome because, this young man, he had to be every bit of 11 years old, but he gave the performance of a lifetime. Now, I know this guy has practiced this act over and over again, and so he had it perfected down to a science. And part of the suspense or of the act is to appear that there's some dangerous things going on with the act, and so people are engaged and on the edge of their seat because they're expecting something to happen, maybe that the person will get hurt or something like that, which is all the more reason why they decide to spectate and stay and watch the act. And it engages and it draws people in. This guy had about maybe 2 blocks worth of people outside of his little area performing for them, and it was like, really, if it had been in a closed-in venue, it would have been literally sold out. And so he did this magic act, and I saw him stand on this thing, and it was pretty dangerous, even though I know he perfected this. But even still, just perfecting it and what it took to learn how many times did he fall on his head before he got that act completely down packed to a science. And you have to give him credit for that, and that's where the skill comes in, and that's why you make sure you pay people appropriately for what they give you. I hate to see this, but here's the thing. The act was over. The kid didn't fall, and he was completely perfect in his act. And the audience erupted in applause. And when the show was over, he poured out a big hat and asked for a donation, and he didn't get one. And that is why I have a problem, because, humans, we're engaged when we want to be, and we can come and watch a show and then not support the person that we stood and watch the show for. And I think that's a little bum on our parts, don't you think? So we can give this guy our time enough to stand there and be captivated and watch his show, and then not in turn support him, especially if he's trying to go to college or something like that. So I just see people, we're just bad for that. We're not good. And we always want something for nothing, which is the average freaking human, which is a freaking problem. in general. The average freaking human is like that. Now, I do say that people are stupid, and people really are stupid. You don't know how many times I've had to do things over, talking out here. And you have to be fearless. When you're in the public, you have to be a fearless person. And, you're going to be dealing with people that all types of distractions will come about if you're in the city. Look out here. There are scores and thousands of people right now out here. But you have to be fearless when you're engaging your audience. And you guys are the world. And if I'm not afraid of the world, I shouldn't be afraid of a mere 100,000, 200, 300,000 people, or however many people are out here right now. So you have to understand, these people put a lot of effort into their craft and to learn these things. You have to give them credit, and you have to, be willing to support them. And that's all I'm saying right there. Now I've taken in some great shows, and I'll come back next year. And we'll do this again, right? And hopefully the people will be just like they are this year. There's music everywhere playing. People are having a good time. And that's how it should be on your vacation. We don't always have to have balance all the time. I don't like to talk to you guys about these things, but, I thought that was very important. So, I'm going to try to find my family. They're somewhere around here. I got lost somewhere. They got lost somewhere out here and in the crowd somewhere, and I'll just turn back and maybe see if I can find them. But I want you guys to know that the trip has been awesome. I loved it. It's been immensely wonderful, and I'll be back, and we'll be talking next week. So you guys have a great evening. I'm going to go find them, and then we're going to go get something to eat and then head back. I love bad behavior. I love people who tip for the show. I love people who support the act. I love people who are engaged for the support of the act. Until we talk again, you folks like, share, and subscribe to the videos. It's been a very good trip. I'm loving this. And we'll have another time and we'll come back and talk next year. You folks have a nice day. Get out of this light. Y'all take care. Like, share, subscribe.